you get a comment from somebody, it stings, and you immediately go to something's wrong with me and I have to fix it now, this episode's for you. Today, we're going to chat about how to choose and how to determine which comments or criticisms to actually pay attention to or put attention on versus which just let them go. Because not every comment someone says is for the better of you. And not every comment someone says is actually about you. So many comments people say are about their own struggles, their own insecurities, the stuff that they're fighting with inside themselves, or when their emotions are heightened, if they're upset, if they're embarrassed, if they're mad or sad, or their own things. But when their emotions are heightened, they can make comments. And sometimes, as sad as it is, it's the people closest to us. They'll use these comments to purposefully sting or hurt because they know your own internal insecurities and worries and fears. And so they know how to trigger you and get that reaction and hurt because they're hurting too, because they're struggling through something. And so people do it to pull you down, to make you feel pain too, or to hurt like they hurt. And no, it's not right. It's not okay. It's not fair, but that's what people do. And so we need to know which comments to actually do something with. Do we take this to heart and feel that sting and change just because someone's dealing with something today and they took it out on me and threw some hurtful comment out there? I used to do that. I used to, every comment someone made, I thought was truth. And I thought it was proof of my own insecurities and I had to change. Something was wrong with me. And then one day there was a comment that had been said a few times, and I was sitting with it thinking of, okay, how do I change this about myself? And I realized I don't want to change this. I didn't have a problem with it. I actually liked that part about me. And so as I kept going with that of, well, this isn't something I want to change. Why should I change just because this person made a comment? And so the more I thought about it, I started asking myself a few more questions. And now I pretty much always ask myself these three questions when someone says a comment or I read a comment. And it helps me decide which comments am I actually going to put my focus on and do something with versus which are more about them and which I'm just going to let go. And so the first question I always ask myself is, do I believe it? Do I agree with it? And this one can be a tricky one because if we are worried about it, we can think that on the surface, we say, yes, we agree with it. But that's not always the case. If, one of the comments that has been said to me is I'm a bad dancer. And so on the surface, yes, I'm insecure about dancing. I fear the judgment of getting out on a dance floor and dancing. Initially, before I started using these questions, said, yep, it's an issue. I need to change it. Something's wrong with me. And I did a couple dance classes and went on YouTube and tried to learn better dance moves. But then as things kept going on and I was reflecting more on comments and just spending more time and thought and coming up with these questions, the second question is, if I make a change, is it going to push me closer to the person I want to be and the life I want to live and my goals, or is it going to pull me away from my goals and who I want to be and where I want to go, or is there really no difference? Then the third question is, do I actually want to make the change? Do I want to put that energy into it? And for me, once I got to asking these questions and this came back around, it was more of a no. It wasn't really going to push me closer other than when we go out and happen to dance, which isn't very often, it would be more fun for him. And I would feel more confident for sure. So there is a little bit of a yes there. Did I want to make the change? Did I want to put the energy into changing that and learning how to dance better? Part of me did, but part of me was I wanted to put my energy into other changes that I wanted to do that I knew for sure would push me closer to who and where I want to be in life and my goals, and work on things that I know without a doubt are holding me back. And so then it was, no, I don't want to put that much energy into it. And so those are the three questions, though. Do I believe it? Do I agree with it? Is it for my benefit? Is it going to help me meet my goals, push me closer to who and where I want to be in life? And then do I actually want to put the energy in to make these changes? Another example is I was told I'm too nice. And so when someone told me that multiple times, I sat with it and thought about it, but I had to dig into it because do I agree? I don't think anything's wrong with being nice. I think it's a good trait to have. And so I was like, no, I don't want to change being nice. I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be rude. Um, but the more I kept going with that, I said, I do want to be able to stand up for myself. I want to be able to say no when I mean no. I want to be able to have boundaries. And those were things that I was lacking. And so then and that comment, there was a piece of it that came out in heightened emotions. So it was a bit of an intentional sting. But when I was able to look at it, question number two, will it push me closer to who I want to be and where I want to be in life and my goals? Absolutely. Not the not being so nice, but what I came up with of being able to say no when I want to say no, standing my ground, standing up for myself and holding boundaries. 100% without a doubt, that's going to push me closer to who I want to be and where I want to be in life and my goals. And so that's what I worked on. Forget the being less nice or being less kind. I don't want to change that at all. I just want to strengthen these other areas that are kind of in the same area of that. Because I didn't hold boundaries, because I would say yes when I wanted to say no, those made the you're too nice more real. And then do I actually want to put energy into making those changes? Because number two question was a yes, it's going to push me further towards my goals and who and where I want to be in life. The answer to number three, do I actually want to make those changes and put the energy into it, was an easy yes. And so those are the things I've been working on. So I hope that makes sense of how to like lay that out into the three questions, because we have to ask ourselves, is the comment or the criticism really about for me? Or is it more about making someone else's life easier? Oftentimes when somebody's upset with us because we make somebody mad because make when someone gets mad because we do something, sometimes they'll criticize what we did. That needs to change. But is that really about that us needing to change, or was it just would it make their life easier? Do you see that? And so we have to question that. Is this more about making your life easy, or is this to make my life better? Because if I'm changing something, I want it to be pushing me closer to the person I want to be in the life I want to live, or whatever goal I'm setting out to achieve. And so that's where we got to question that. When we sit and actually just consider the comment or the criticism, it's not about dismissing every criticism that hurts, and it's not about taking every criticism as a fact and it's proof that what I was worried about within myself is true. Neither of those. We need to just consider it. Is there a value to this comment? Could I do something with it? What could I learn from it? Sitting and actually considering the comment is not questioning yourself or doubting yourself. It's actually a strength. It's being able to look at yourself and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I benefit from this? Will this be helpful in my life? It's considering it and learning more about yourself, because if you look at it and say, you know what, I actually like this about me, I don't want to change it, I'm okay with how I am, you know what that does? A couple things. One, it builds confidence in yourself. It builds I like me. And so if you can find those little things, hey, I actually like that trait about myself, I like this about me. It builds that confidence and that self acceptance in that little piece. And the friend within you is saying, yes, yes, accept me, accept who you are, be okay with you. And so if you can find that, and whether that's, yeah, I could change it, but I don't really want to put in that much effort for it, that's okay. That's your decision. And so then you're accepting that. And you can literally say, if that comment comes up again, being able to say, yeah, I'm actually fine with that about myself. I actually don't mind that. And it'll stop them in their tracks, because a lot of times when somebody makes a comment, it's depending, unless it's like truly sincere, but a lot of comments that sting are from people in an emotionally heightened state. They're upset, they're bothered, they're frustrated, they're whatever, but they're doing it as a dig or an intentional sting. And so if you can say that to them, they're no longer getting the reaction they were looking for. And then on the other side, if you say, yeah, that is something I want to change, it will push me closer to who I want to be and where I want to be in life or my goals, and you're learning about yourself, you're in growth, and you're purposefully taking steps towards who you want to be, where you want to be in life, and whatever your goals are. And so trust your judgment, trust your own judgment, and use criticism and comments as tools to gain confidence or to grow. And either way, both of those push you further towards who you want to be, where you want to be in life. And just make sure that's what it's about, not about appeasing someone else or making their life easier. Make sure it's what you want and you believe in it, and you know that making the change is going to push you towards who you want to be and where you want to go in life.